So good evening, good morning, good afternoon, Rotarians, and for all colleagues in peace from around the world. I'm Jim Halderman, the chair of the District Peace Committee in District 5450, and we are the sponsor of this program. We are indeed very honored this evening to have a very special individual with us. What Arthur did not tell you in his bio is that he started his career with the American Friends Service Committee, where he produced documentaries to help discourage against the Vietnam War. He also has been a radio show host, a journalist, a visionary writer. Prior to producing the feature-length documentary, he produced the award-winning short film on Gary Davis. Before that, he produced War Without Winners, narrated by Paul Newman, a compelling TV documentary on the nuclear war issue. There's so much more to list of credits, and I have never seen him without this iconic and contagious smile. Arthur, the screen is yours.
Well, it's so wonderful to be here and a real delight to be on your program. You have so many wonderful Rotarians around the world joining you, and you have such great guests, and I'm honored to be here. So it's a great pleasure to have a very special event tonight, and this is the program where we are launching The World is My Country onto PBS stations around the country. This is the launch date. This is our official launch, and you get to be in on it. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the story. But first of all, I'd like you to try to imagine something. Imagine that you go to sleep, and then you wake up in the morning, and you see a headline, and the headline says, Broadway actor interrupts UN, the United Nations, to demand outlawing war and human rights for all. Would you like to see that headline in the morning? Well, somebody's not muted. Jim, is there a way to?
Yeah, I'm
people who aren't part of it?
muted Charlie.
Okay, sorry about that. I think I'll start over. Do you edit this? I can start over.
We don't, go ahead. You're fine.
Okay. All right. So, you wake up and here's the headline: Broadway actor interrupts the UN to demand outlawing of war and human rights for all. Well, that actual headline is what happened back in 1948, and I'll start by playing you the news clip that people saw at that time. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we're going to start with the extinction warning. Here we go. All right.
Still on this? No, we're on this for right now.
All right, here we go.
Going to get you something to eat that you'll
Wait,
actually
we're hearing somebody talking about getting something to eat. Is there a way? Do you have a way, Jim, to turn off silence everyone until they're chosen to speak? There's usually a way to do that. Okay.
Got it.
Whoever is talking about getting something to eat, please mute yourself.
It's handled.
All right, it's handled. Okay. All right, here we go. So here's the news story you would have seen that morning.
At a recent sitting of the United Nations General Assembly, there was an astonishing outburst from Mr. Gary Davis, known as World Citizen Number 1.
I pass the word to the people. So what I did was I got up before anybody could stop me. There were balcony railings there. I leaped over the balcony railings out to the front where everybody could see me, and I shouted, I interrupt to make a I interrupt in the name of the people not represented here. Well, I started. The nations you represent divide us and lead us to the abyss of total war. What we need is one world. And if you won't do it, step aside. And a People's World Assembly will arise from our own ranks to do it, because we can be served by nothing less.
He was an actor, a song and dance man who leapt off the Broadway stage onto the world stage in 1948, taking on cops, border guards, armies, and whole nations, showing us that we don't have to be awed by their props of power and control. We don't have to accept a world ravaged by war and plunging towards environmental disaster. For 65 years, as a citizen of no nation, only the world, Gary Davis made his own props of freedom, demonstrating that we, the people, can tear down the walls of oppression and write our own story. We can build a world that is constructive for all and destructive to none. A world in which all of us can truly say, the world is my country.
So, screen sharing stop. Okay, so that was the headline that that opened that extinction warning on that fateful day. Now, why would a Broadway actor leap up in the middle of the UN to do such a thing? Well, you need to hear tell a little bit more about Gary's background, his story. So, for a quick summary of that, I'm going to share that short that Jim mentioned that gives us a quick rundown of who Gary was and what he did. And this, of course, he's the subject of the film. So we're going to do another share now. And it's going to be to share this one. All right, there we go. Hope I did make sure. Wait, I didn't optimize for sound and video. Hold on a minute. Share. Yeah, it is optimized. Okay. There we go. All right, here we go. And this is Gary Davis has grasped the only problem to which I'm determined to devote the rest of my life, whether mankind will disappear by its own hand or continue to exist. Albert Einstein himself said that.
Gary Davis was a rising Broadway star. The night he stood in for the ailing Danny Kaye, he brought down the house, getting 13 curtain calls. Then, the world went mad. Families were ripped apart. His brother was killed in action. Gary enlisted, eager to bomb Hitler's war factories. But then he was ordered to bomb a city full of civilians. Horrified at the carnage, he was enraged at the war system. Sure that there must be a better way to run our world, he set off to right the wrongs and prevent World War III. He gave up Broadway and made the whole world his stage. He dared to interrupt the squabbling of nations, to demand that the UN hold worldwide elections of a global Congress to outlaw war and make peace. 20,000 war-weary Europeans rallied with him to demand that the world recognize the rights of humanity.
Pas d'illusions sur les difficultés que nous attendent. Mais nous devons choisir entre les difficultés et les massacres de la guerre. Moi, j'ai choisi.
The very next day, the UN unanimously passed the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. With that authority, Gary then staged the most audacious performance of all. He declared a government of, by, and for the people of the world. He gave up his United States citizenship to raise his allegiance to the global level. he became the first official world citizen.
Great thinkers joined him, like Albert Einstein, Albert
His new
Camus,
government
Albert
issued
Schweitzer.
IDs, marriage licenses, and passports. Nations first rejected them and locked Gary up for failing to have national papers. But amazingly, hundreds of thousands began to register as world citizens. Nations around the globe began to stamp the world passports. Thousands of refugees and detainees, incarcerated for years for lack of identity papers, obtained world passports, and for many, freedom. Gary Davis stands for a world most people can only dream about. A world in which humanity is united. A future in which we free ourselves from the scourge of war and oppression. A world in which we are one. The Gary Davis Story.
All right. Let me go back to the other screen. Okay, that's sort of a quick thumbnail summary of Gary's story, and of course you can watch the whole film by going to our website, theworldismycountry.com, and you can click on the link, PBS link, right there on the first page, and you can watch the PBS version. And one of the things that we're going to ask of people here is to not only go ahead and watch the film there, but then we need people to ask their local stations if they, not to lobby them so much as to, especially if you're members and so on, say, when's this film coming to our area and so on, because this is being put up on the satellite by NETA. They supply programming for the public television network, but every station is an individual station. They make their own decisions in their local community about what to program and what not. And now that Corporation for Public Broadcasting has been eliminated, they need good quality programming. So NETA approached us to bring this film back. We had it on PBS once before, and we had it on over 100 in 100 different cities across the country. But now they're putting it back up on the satellite because it's more timely than ever. I mean, we're really in an urgent crisis where humanity's very existence hangs in the balance, and we're rapidly plunging toward extinction for multiple purposes. And that's so mind-boggling, racing toward extinction. It's hard for us to fathom how crucial and important that is, and what that really means. But, to me, this is just such a precious planet. I look out at all the wonderful people, Rotarians all over the world doing amazing things, the beauties of nature, the animals, the dogs and the cats, and to imagine all of it extinguished is just beyond comprehension. And so we're at a really crucial turning point for humanity now. We've got to invent something new. The old systems are failing. I mean, they've obviously completely broken down, and we're going to go into a little more of that. But let me just play first one more clip of Gary and how he came to this realization of the need for something crucial and different. I'm going to go ahead and do another screen share, and we're going to go to optimize sound and videos here. Okay. All right, you're seeing this one screen. Let's go to go to full screen.
It struck me like lightning that humans already have a system for eliminating war. It's too simple. Come on, Gary, you're kidding. No. Inside countries with one government, we don't fight wars. How about civil wars? Two governments, two sovereignties. But if everyone accepts one government, no war. I look around New York and I see, ethnic groups all over the place, the same ones that were at war with each other in other countries. Here they're playing chess in Washington Square. Is it human nature to go to war? Why aren't they at war? Is it suddenly they all love each other? No way. Some even commit crimes against each other. But then somebody calls the cops, and they're hauled before a judge, and there's a trial. Conflicts can be resolved, not by blowing up neighborhoods, but in a court of law. Then I read Tom Paine's The Rights of Men. Tom Paine made that famous statement, "My country is the world." So if the world is our country, this is too simple, really. If the world is our country and we claim it, and we raise our allegiance to that level, to the top level, no more fictional borders. That's the key. And therefore, no more wars.
All right. So that was just an incredible realization. You know, we're so stuck inside this nation state system. We keep thinking if only we can elect different leaders, if only we can turn out the current dictator in the next election, if only we can do this. And, you know, we've gone back and forth between different parties, and we still remained on that extinction path. We're rapidly increasing and racing toward extinction. And the key thing is that Gary came to the realization that it's because of the very system itself is broken. You know, the system we have of nation states, Einstein warned about that. And Einstein, as you saw in the beginning of that other film, actually praised Gary as the person who kind of grasped the key to how we can solve it. Einstein realized that the current system of nation states can only lead to barbarism, war, and really the demise of humanity. And as you saw, he decided to devote the later years of his life to trying to create a way that we could govern our world rationally. And so we put so much energy into trying to fix things inside that broken system. But what Buckminster Fuller, who Gary was a big follower of Buckminster Fuller, and he actually hired a Buckminster Fuller disciple, Stafford Beer, to design his synergistic system, a way we could have a system of world governance from the bottom up where everyone can be interactively involved. And I'll get into a little bit more of that later, but I also want to, just for fun, share with you another extinction warning.
About the present comes from a creature of the past.
Here we go. Hold on a moment. I'm going to do another screen share. That's kind of interesting. Here we go. Optimize for sound. Nope, wait, the wrong thing. Stop share. I want to share just that window. Share window, this one. And share.
Past. At the end of week 1 of the Glasgow Climate Change Summit that's had a few hits and more than a few misses.
Here we go. Gary wasn't the only one to interrupt the UN. Here's another interruption.
You okay? You need a minute? Cool. Okay. Listen up, people. I know a thing or two about extinction. And let me tell you, and you'd kind of think this would be obvious, going extinct is a bad thing. And driving yourselves extinct? In 70 million years, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. At least we had an asteroid. What's your excuse? You're headed for a climate disaster, and yet every year governments spend hundreds of billions of public funds on fossil fuel subsidies. Imagine if we had spent hundreds of billions per year subsidizing giant meteors. That's what you're doing right now. Think of all the other things you could do with that money. Around the world, people are living in poverty. Don't you think helping them would make more sense than, I don't know, paying for the demise of your entire species? Let me be real for a second. You've got a huge opportunity right now. As you rebuild your economies and bounce back from this pandemic, this is humanity's big chance. So here's my wild idea. Don't choose extinction. Save your species before it's too late. It's time for you humans to stop making excuses and start making changes. Thank you.
Well, so Gary wasn't the only one to interrupt the UN with an extinction warning. I thought that was a powerful parallel to Gary. Gary had a powerful point, but they made that one in a very clever way. And wow, something's got to shake us up, folks. And when we see the way the world is just imploding on itself and the way the nation state system is totally breaking down and really leading to tyranny around the world, more and more people choosing fascist governments, more and more collapse of the old system. And, it's not going to be fixed unless we unleash the superpower. Now, who is the superpower? The superpower is we, the people of the planet Earth. We are the superpower. The 7 billion of us are the most, or no, it's 8 point, whatever it is, 8.9, it keeps increasing, whatever it is. Anyway, the 8 or 9 billion of us, billion, are the superpower that can literally change the world. And Gary was working on how can we synergistically do that? How can we create a system that, he said, why do we want to just continue to knock our heads against the wall, begging and pleading the nation states to give up some of their sovereignty, to reform the UN? It's not going to happen. It hasn't happened in the many decades since the UN was formed, and it's not going to happen from the top down. The nation states, they stay in power because they protect us from them in a system of world anarchy. And the only power that can stop them is we the people. And that's the reason why they try to keep us so divided. The same mega millionaires who fund hating one group in one country fund hating another group in another country. They don't care who you hate. As long as you hate somebody and they can whip up that hatred, they can keep you from realizing that the real problem that we're facing is the entire actual system, which is impressing all of us on the planet. And if we can break out of that separation and come together with what people really want and need, they can create something completely different, something completely new, something that can really give us the power to change the world. And so I'm going to go ahead and share another clip with you. And let me close this one and go to this one.
Here in Vermont, we have town hall meetings.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. Share. Window. Oh, wait, no, we're not getting that's the wrong window. Sorry. Stop share. Close that one. Share. There we go. All right.
Here in Vermont, we have town hall meetings. Today, with the internet, we can all meet in the same room, the global room. We don't have to give our power away to representatives who become magnets for special interest money. We don't have to be imprisoned by the inventions of the 1700s. We don't need a middleman. What if we invent a governing system in which each of us can participate? Not mob rule, but true collaboration. What if we invent world money? Why not? We humans are an incredibly ingenious species. Why squander our genius on inventing smart bombs to do ourselves in? Why not use our great ingenuity to invent SmartGov, a way we can all interactively and intelligently and heartfully govern our communities, our regions, and our world? Visionary, you bet, but doesn't every advance start with imagination? When we catch the vision of a people-powered planet, then, in this era of instant communication, we'll be able to evolve the tools and the platforms we need to bring the highest and best wisdom of each individual to the task of governing planet Earth. Once we tap into the sovereignty of the whole, we can unleash the genius of humanity. End war, end oppression, solve global warming.
All right. So what Gary was proposing was something really incredibly new. Oops, let me stop that.
Talk with you about the reflecting pool as we
Sorry.
discussed
YouTube,
yesterday.
YouTube automatically goes on to the next thing, but I'm just closing that. All right. There we go. Close that window. So this is a really crucial and kind of mind-boggling idea, and something for us to really start thinking about, something different, and that is, there are actually people who've been literally doing this, the beginnings of this. The person who helped Gary develop it, Stafford Beer, who engaged and developed Gary's synergistic system. He then worked for President Allende, who was elected democratically in Chile, and they were working on creating this kind of people-powered way that people could directly be involved in governance and directly be involved in making decisions that affect their lives. And then, of course, he got IT&T. They confiscated IT&Ts because they were doing terrible things, raping the resources of the country, and so the CIA helped, with the help of IT&T, overthrew him and put in a terrible dictator, Pinochet. But it was an incredible experiment while it lasted. And right now there's another incredible experiment going on in a country that's actually doing this kind of thing, and that is Taiwan. Taiwan, if you go to our website, The World is My Country, and you click on the podcast site, and scroll and search for Tang, like the drink Tang, T-A-N-G, you'll see his incredible talk where what they did as the digital minister of Taiwan, they actually created an interactive way. Here there was these sharpest divisions, people hating each other on opposite sides, fighting civil wars with each other. And he found a way to create this digital interactive democracy where they all actually people work together. They brought out what Gary said, the highest and best wisdom of each individual into the task of governing planet Earth. And it was incredible, the solutions they had. When the current system where 51% win and 49% lose is a race to the bottom, nobody really votes for anybody. They vote against the bad guy. The other guy's worse. And so we don't like everything this guy does, but we got to invite somebody. But when you go to direct interactive digital democracy, you can put your whole person into it, everything you want, your hopes and dreams, and you get out of the way. What is the system is designed not to pit us against each other, but purposely to bring out systematically what is it we want, what's our vision, what's our stories, how do we want to make things better. And you find when you get past the divisions we've been whipped up into people's actual uh, hopes and dreams, there's an incredible synergy. There's an incredible parallel. People really, we want the same things. We want a better life for our children. We want security. We want a better future. We want to help our neighbors and to help others, as people Rotarians do all over the world. Rotary is a fantastic model of how worldwide we can rise above the borders and interactively help each other around the world. And that's why I'm so excited that we open our film, The World is My Country, with a salute to Rotary. And now I'm going to go ahead and play for you that opening clip of the film. So what we'll do is we'll go to theworldismycountry.com, and actually I'll let everybody see how we do this so they can do it on their computers as well. So here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Share. This one. There we go. Okay. So here we are. This is our website, theworldismycountry.com. And if you go to that website, you'll see there's a lot more about Gary and a wonderful trailer with Martin Sheen. We could play that as well. But you'll also, and you see at the top, they have the trailer, shorts, media. You can see the Bully Proof Project, another conflict resolution project we developed that helps kids use more powerful tools than violence to solve their problems. And it's a fantastic, well, just click on it briefly, a fantastic program using animal characters like Bust Out Bear and Understanding Unicorn and Listening Lynx and Loving Lion, Yin Yang Yak. They spell out the acronym Bully Proof. And each of these animals teaches kids and everybody the key tools for conflict resolution. But you can look at that yourself on the page. But coming back here to the home page, there's a button here saying on PBS Now, watch now. And there's also a GoFundMe where you can help contribute to the effort to get this out widely around the world. So let's look at the PBS. Okay, so here we go. Broadway actor interrupts the UN to demand an end of war. And then as you play it here, you can hear that extinction warning. And then if you scroll down here, you can see Martin Sheen.
Hello, I'm Martin Sheen, inviting you to watch a remarkable true story about an actor who leapt off the Broadway stage onto the world stage at a meeting of the United Nations, and the challenge he issued to that world body and their response to it is rediscovered so that today it can become a powerful source of inspiration for all humankind. The World is My Country on this public broadcasting station.
So that's that's the link that we're providing to all the stations about being able to watch the film, able to play, to advertise for people to come watch the film. And you can click right there and submit it and get a link right away. If you fill out your name and email, you'll get a link to watch the PBS version right now. So that's how you go watch the film and you join it. And after you see this, let me show you this one a second.
At a recent sitting of the United Nations General Assembly, there was an astonishing outburst from Mr.
Okay, so that's the one you just saw, and that again you can watch there. So just again, come to our website and you can see the trailer and the film. Now the crucial thing is that now I'm going to share with you. If you go to let me go back to the website there. You go to theworldismycountry.com and then /Rotary. There we go. Rotary. I'm going to do another screen share. Okay. Share screen. All right. So here we go. This is the new broadcast of The World is My Country. And just as you see at the top, it says theworldismycountry.com/Rotary with a lowercase r, because that's the way the computer thing works. They want a lowercase. But if you just click on this, this is how the film opens on PBS.
Additional underwriting provided by EmpathySurplus.com, Nancy and Al Jubitz, Yale Jones, Cinda Collins Arsenault, Laura Turner Seidel, and more outstanding Rotarians saluting Rotary International, uniting 1.2 million people of action in 35,000 clubs, volunteering in their communities and building peace around the world. Rotary.org/world.
We've got a picture now.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's how the film will open on PBS. It opens with that salute to Rotary, and then Martin Sheen introducing Gary. Let me come back to my Zoom now. That's a powerful program, and we really need all of you to be a part of it. We need you to join the other sponsors. Lots of Rotarians have already helped contribute to getting this film on, and if you click on the GoFundMe, you'll see that you can add to that. And we really do need you, because just because it's up on the satellite doesn't mean it's all the PBS stations are going to have it, or that people are going to hear about it to tune in. So we need to publicize it widely. We need to get a station relations manager who can help call all the different, who knows all the directors of all these local stations. They can say, hey, look at this film. It's really an important one for our time. But that cost, each thing has a cost. The cost of station relations manager is around $12,000, and there's cost for social media and so on. So we do hope that all of you will consider watching the film, and if you feel it's an exciting way to help wake up our planet and to help do what the dinosaur said, avoid extinction, then go ahead and join that and contribute what you can. I mean, what could be more important than contributing to avoiding the extinction of our species? So I'd love to have you all join me, and now I'm going to turn it over to questions and comments. And thank you very much, Jim, for letting me share a little bit about that.
Oh, you're more than welcome. This is an exciting program, an exciting time, an exciting concept. I've always wondered why nations that begin to have their challenges inside feel they have to divide into two countries. It's a kind of a new age saying of wherever you are, wherever you go, there you are. We always take our troubles with us. So why don't we just figure out how to work with this? Walls and barriers are never positive. We're open to any questions that anybody might have. And preferably if you could use your visual hand at the bottom so I can see, as we have multiple screens.
Anybody have comments or questions? Just, you can raise your digital hand by clicking on raise hand. It should be at the bottom of your screen if you're on a PC. I see chat there. I see other people here. Who else has a question, comment, or thought they'd like to add to this? Well, until somebody asks, then I'll go ahead and say a little bit more, but we welcome you all.
We have a couple of questions up, Arthur.
Oh, you do? Okay, go ahead with them.
Tom Baker would be the first one.
There we go.
Yeah, how do we get access to that dinosaur video?
Yes. Just search for dinosaur. Go to YouTube, search for dinosaur extinction warning at UN, and you'll see it. It'll pop up there.
Okay,
It was
thank you.
actually made, as you saw, during the COVID era, but it's extremely relevant now. And everybody in the world really ought to see that. I mean, what a great warning. Yes, that's how you see it.
Thank
And
you,
I like
Arthur.
what your background says, mutually assured survival. That's what we need, and that's the only thing that can work. It has to be mutually assured survival. We can never win with us versus them. We have to create that mutually assured survival for humanity.
Yeah, we have to take a stand against the war machine. That's for sure.
We're working on it. Yeah, it's very good. Ray.
I was wondering, are people still following this example of literally relinquishing their citizenship? And how does that work? I mean, is there some alternative to living in this country and you know not being a citizen?
Well, yes, I can tell you the answer to that. First of all, when Gary gave up his citizenship, he said he was not suggesting that everybody else give up their citizenship. He wanted to make an example of himself and show that it was possible for one person to live outside the nation state system as a citizen of the world. And he put himself, if you watch the movie or if you read his book, The World is My Country, you'll see that he went through being in 34 prisons, which he didn't mind. He'd go to prison. He'd think it was a great time to proselytize among the other immigrants and other people who needed his counsel. But he had all these incredible challenges. And what he found is that in order to give up your citizenship, first of all, you have to be out of the country, and you have to go surrender it at a consular office. So he went to Paris. He walked into the United States Embassy, and he said, "I'm here to surrender, to give up my U.S. citizenship." And the woman said, "Well, nobody ever does that. Everybody's trying to get U.S. citizenship. Are you crazy?" And he said, "No, I've made a determination. I want to give it up." So she said, "Well, just a minute, I'll get somebody else." And another guy, the top head of the embassy, came over. "Well, I understand you're a war veteran and all, and I can understand. I'll tell you what, it'll take us a few days to check with Washington if we can do this. Come back in a few days." So Gary comes back in a few days and says, "Okay, are you ready to give me the oath of giving up my citizenship?" And they said, "What did Washington say?" They said, "Oh, we didn't really check for Washington. We just wanted to give you time to cool off." So Gary got furious. He said, "I demand you immediately do it. Give me the oath." So they said, "Well, okay." So Gary said, "Well, see, don't I need a Bible to put my hand on when I give the oath?" And they said, a Bible. And they run around looking all through the embassy. They can't find a Bible. Finally, they run across the street to a hotel and borrow their Gideon's Bible and bring it back and finally give it to Gary. And he puts his hand on it and he officially gives up his United States citizenship. And he walks out of the embassy, and he's elated. He's like on cloud nine. He's like, if you watch the movie, you'll see he's like dancing, like singing in the rain, like Gene Kelly, dancing and feeling so liberated that finally now he's free of the nation state system. And he was willing to endure terrific challenges. And actually, with no papers, he wasn't really getting anywhere and was getting into a lot of prisons. So finally, he invented the world passport, which I have right here to show you. I had it right here on the table. Where did it just go? Oh, here it fell on the floor. Okay. He invented the world passport. And in 1953, he established the world citizen government in Washington, D.C. And since 1950, an administrative agency called the World Service Authority. And since 1954, they've been issuing these world passports, and they've issued hundreds of thousands of them, and they've helped refugees get out of. They've helped refugees get out of detention centers. They've helped. They've been official. They've been stamped by almost every nation on earth, as you'll see when you go to our website and you click on the World Passport tab. But it's hit or miss, and especially since 9/11, they're very strict, and it's really very hard to ever use this for a travel document. Although it happens in some countries, some places, but it's pretty rare. But what people have done now is there's 50 million stateless people in the world. You can't get your kids into school. You can't open a bank account. You can't. You basically can't. You can't get the medical care you need. You can't go to a hospital without proof of citizenship, without having a document ID. So people use this to open those doors, and countless numbers of people's lives have been saved. We had in our interview show, like someone in South Africa needed a heart operation and couldn't get it until they got their world passport. So it's a crucially important identity document for millions of people. And so, yes, all of us, but what I think is so important, I think each of us should get one of these passports, not so much to travel with it as to identify ourselves as citizens of the world. And I find if you present this first at a border, you're likely to get frisked, given a really hard time. You might get turned back. People can even get detained, like the rapper you'll see in the long version of the film, not the PBS version. There's a long theatrical version where the rapper, one of the famous rappers, ended up getting kicked out of South Africa, all kinds of other things. But the point is that I feel it's a way that we can connect ourselves with all of humanity. So I certainly urge you to go to our webpage and get that, but I don't urge the people to give up their national citizenship. You can do it, but there's a great deal of challenge to it, and it's not easy at all, and it's probably even harder today than back then. But go ahead, next question.
Robert, you're next.
Ray has asked a very advanced question. If we could just back up for a moment to a couple technical questions. In the film One, the Gary Davis story, is there a dating around that film? And then would you just comment more, Arthur, about how you became involved with this vision and moved towards the filmmaking, just for that background for our usage?
Yes, of course. All right. Well, first of all, we made One, the Gary Davis story first, that short film, to use as a promo tool to try to get the funding to create the longer film, but we never got any funding. So finally, I had to. Well, we sold my family home, and I used half the money of that to help my disabled siblings and half the money to get this project started. So I put my own funds into it to make it possible to do it. But what my journey was is I was working, well, first when I was working for the American Friends Service Committee, as you said, I found out that we would make documentaries before there was even home VHS or anything, and we'd do them on slide carousels with a slide and a tape, and you could either play the tape in the carousel and tell the story, the automated air war, the post-war war, sharing global resources, the other videos I did, or audio visuals I did for them, that were like documentaries, but before that technology was available for home use. But then I went to work with a group of retired admirals and generals who were speaking out for peace at the Center for Defense Information, Admiral Arak, General Gorwitz, and others. And there I worked with Admiral Arak, where I produced the film War Without Winners, and I interviewed Paul Newman, and he opens the film, and it's a Paul Newman film, War Without Winners. And if you just go to warwithoutwinners.com, I can put that in the chat, you can watch that film. And so when I discovered the power of film, I decided to well, I was meditating at Friends meeting after the day after, and the film that I worked on, where 100 million people saw the disastrous impact of nuclear war. We still continued on with the arms race, even though, as you'll see if you watch another film that I'm the impact producer on called Television Event, you'll see that ABC film the day after, where I didn't play a major role, but I was the nuclear war researcher on it, that film inspired Ronald Reagan, or so shocked Ronald Reagan that he decided that he was wrong when he thought he could fight and win a nuclear war. And he met with Gorbachev and went through drastic reductions in nuclear weapons. Uh, but still, when I realized that that film hadn't stopped nuclear war, all these people came to me and said, "Well, we really need to make a documentary showing it's really much worse because there's actually nuclear winter and all these other things." I said, "My God, if that wasn't bad enough, we don't need a film that shows it's worse." The problem is people really don't see an alternative. They don't know how to get out of it. They know it's awful, but what can we do? And I decided I was meditating in Friends meeting really, and it came to me a vision of creating movies that gave us a vision of what we want to move toward. I mean, when we meditate, if we can visualize and picture what we want, we're more likely to get there than if we keep picturing disaster. And so I began to develop the Gary Davis movie as one that was positive and upbeat and showed us a guy who can show us a way and show us something as an alternative to the collapses. I appreciate that question. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And the next question is, I see it by Judy R. Not sure which one of you want to speak.
Hi there. Actually, Martin, my husband, wanted to speak, so I'll let him speak.
So you mentioned how Gary went to a lot of prisons, and I've done a lot of work in prisons in an organization called Alternatives to Violence. You also mentioned Friends, which were a Quaker-based idea. What I've found in all the work I've done is we're not dealing with the idea of who is sociopathic. And sociopathics like hurting people. And they are something which you have to deal with, but we aren't dealing with it because we've started calling them narcissists. But it's those who actually really enjoy hurting people. And they're not born into it like a psychopath. There's somebody who is created by the system. So you have nations now and systems going on now which are actually turning a lot of people into the idea that power is okay to use. I'm bringing this up because I think we have to start naming people. We have to start naming those who like hurting other people. I don't see the methodology being used at the moment.
Well, I think you're right, and I think the current system does elevate psychopaths to power. I mean, it's incredible that we would have a system that does it, but it is the system. It's what's coming out of it, and we see even in other countries moving toward that psychopathic leadership taking command. And I think it's because of the total, the total breakdown of, the fact that the economic system has created a few key people with billions of dollars who are depriving, the rest of that. They got the power to back the psychopaths, and the psychopaths have the power to help them, and we end up in a vicious cycle of downward spiral toward extinction and toward doing ourselves in. And I think the key is that we, the people, have to recognize our power and find a way to rise above that. And we'll never fix things by fighting the old system. Just as Buckminster Fuller said and Einstein said, you can't solve a problem, Einstein said, at the same level it's created. You have to create something new and above that. And Bucky Fuller, of course, said, you never solve something by fighting the old reality. You just create a better model and draw people toward it. And Gary's idea, if we can create this people-powered governance system, and people can find they sign up online and they begin to have impact and power. And different communities have been doing it. Working with Audrey Tang in California, they set up a way for people to have, at least on some issues, some direct citizen involvement and participation in governance. We need to start shifting our mindset to finding a whole new way of running our planet before it's too late. And that's why we hope to get this movie out very widely on PBS and have your support, especially for going to the GoFundMe that's right out there on our website and helping us get more funds to get this out to more and more people.
Thank you.
Other questions? Anybody else with a question or comment?
So the bottom line is it still is active today.
If what was the question?
It is alive. It is alive and well today.
The World Service Authority putting out the passports and everything. Yes, they continue in Washington D.C. David Gallup heads it. They issue. You can sign up and get your world passports. You can reach people around the world, and it has the Synergy site talking about the World Synergy Project, and they're doing crucially important work, helping people who are deeply in trouble. They have a legal volunteers and interns who help people who have human rights cases and help defend the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And every document they issue, from World Citizen IDs to World Passports, are based on clauses in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was passed it was initiated by Eleanor Roosevelt and others, but Gary helped have that huge rally that, as you'll see when you watch the film, triggered the UN, the Russians to step aside and let it get passed unanimously. So that's a worthwhile thing you'll see when you join it.
Vasanti from India. Vasanti, you have a question.
Thank you, Jim. I had two thoughts. One is, how does somebody or a district or a club join this movement like he mentioned? That's number one. Number two is, we have a lot of literature like Citizen of the World and all that, and we have fellowships like Readers Fellowships and Authors Fellowship. Maybe some of these thoughts can look at literature which always talks about the world as one unit. But the first question is very important. How does one join this entity?
Yes, well, thank you for that. Yes, you can go to our website and sign up to get our weekly notices of our podcasts and programs and watch that. You can also click from there to go to the World Service Authority and get their info. We do have some. We don't have a central way that all Rotary clubs can join. I see Kat, one of the people on the club, has the We Rotary Club. I'm in the Rotary E Club of World Peace. We have other clubs that are focused on one world, but everybody can come to these meetings, and that can at least get you started. And as far as India is way ahead of others, the Rotary International President Shekhar Mehta was from India, and he's the one who approved having Rotary International endorse our doing that spot and having Rotarian. They didn't put directly international money, but they allowed it so that individual Rotarians can join in and contribute to having the World is My Country have that Rotary spot and to help get it out more widely around the world. And India is certainly a large part of Gary's adventure was when he went to India and met with Prime Minister Nehru and gave Prime Minister Nehru a world passport. And Prime Minister Nehru said, "This is the passport Gandhi would have carried." And Gary had incredible adventures in India, and then, as you'll see when you watch the movie, and then he actually ended up trying to walk from India to Germany to rebuild the destruction his bombs had caused, and had amazing adventures along the way. Those are all told in the book, The World is My Country, which is available from the World Service Authority or from Amazon for only, I think it's only about 10 or 20 bucks or something. It's not very expensive, and it's a fantastic story that you'll find very enlightening and beneficial.
Thank you, Arthur. I just have one request. If, like Jim always sends this invite, if there is a brief note on the concept and some indication of where they can look at it, I can have it circulated throughout India through RAG-FP.
I would love to have that. Let's exchange emails and everything in the chat, and I'd love to do that. I'm going to go ahead. My email is just, you see my name on the screen, Arthur Kenagis, Kanegis. It's just arthurkanagis@gmail.com, and I would love to have yours. I'll go ahead and put that in the chat. But You can probably just see it on the screen, Arthur. And anybody have a question while I'm typing that in?
We've come to our end, and I always like to leave people wanting, so I know they come back next month. So, Arthur, we are so indeed grateful for your time, your knowledge, your expertise, and your commitment to what you do and what you bring. I want to talk next month. We are very pleased to bring Monty Marshall. Again, an extensive bio and piece of research, which you will read. He directed the Center of Systemic Peace since 1997, which produces the data and information on conflict, governance, and development of 168 countries and so much more. It will be another do not miss presentation. Arthur, we can't thank you enough again for everything you do and everything you bring to this world.